Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Hey, thank you everyone to having me today. I'm Nico Orellana, the CEO of Wellco. I've been an event planner for the last 4 years. I've been a speaker plenty of times. And we know that great events strengthen current relationships and help you to connect with new people. And we are very good doing that in our events. We have been helping these brands in Chile to make awesome events. And our guests say this: most of them start their companies because of our events and the connection they've made in their events. And they think, again, it's great to connect with new people in our events. But the problem is that current technology for event sucks. It's terrible. I mean, managing technology and the event management registration process is terrible. It's very hard to hack social interactions, and there's too many tools to manage registrations and invitation process. And dude, it's a huge industry. The event management industry is $1 billion industry just here in the US, without thinking about international. So Wellco empower guests to connect with new people and engage with your events. Basically, we provide a solution for for guests to connect with new people in events through your current connections. And event planners can manage that very easily through our web application. This is our team, Nico, the CEO, and Sebastian is a computer science from Top One University in Chile, and we have as investors Dave McClure's fund, Eric Schmidt fund, and VP of Groupon Latin America helping us to get this to the next level. We are looking for a seed round, and we're expecting to having us to help us in this market. Thanks.
Okay, so part of what I'm looking for is to understand where this fits in this whole event space, because it is super, super crowded, and there seem to be like 10 million startups attacking all the different aspects of it. What I gathered is that it's about connecting the people at the events, but it sounded like part of what you were saying was, you know, there's so many different things to manage. It also sounded like you were saying this is a one-stop shop, full spectrum solution. So I wasn't sure which one it was.
This was a new pitch, right?
Yeah, we're like.
Yeah, this was like it was really new. It seemed like you had this is like almost the first time you ran through it.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we are trying to explain better the product, better the solution.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Can you go to the view with all your slides?
You mean the?
Yeah, like with like the slides on the side. Yeah, like that. So there's something clunky between like slide, like that middle part. Like I like the way you start. I think with a little practice you'll probably slow that down a little bit.
Yeah.
But the middle part was the part that was a little disconnected, right? Like you went from your story, and then you went to this, and then you like threw up these brands, and I was like, wait, what's going on? And it wasn't clear that these were your customers because these are using Wellco already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't exactly clear.
I didn't get that. I thought what I heard was, oh, these are people I've done work before as an event planner.
As an event planner,
these are
right.
current customers.
Right.
Yeah, I think it wasn't advice because I think the customer thing is there. It's like, yeah. But okay.
So, but is it a complete solution that replaces Eventbrite and all these other things, or is it a social solution that plugs in with Eventbrite and all these other things?
I think
It's the latter,
Yeah.
the former, the
I
latter.
mean, we plug with other registration platform, but we also have we allow companies to send invitations for like just to collect their RSVPs.
Gotcha.
But we don't do registration.
Got it. Okay.
Right. Yeah, so you connect the guests at you connect the attendees. Right. So one thing I would just say, by the way, is like flip slide 12 and 11. Like, if I didn't know what Wellco was, and you threw up that iPhone thing first. I just kind of already boxed you in an iPhone app.
Exactly.
And I might love or hate it, but the point is I'll get polarized pretty quick, I think.
Right. And my assumption would be that that's the primary means by which the conference attendee
Right.
accesses the product, that they're going to be using it on their smartphone while they're there, because we all know Wi-Fi sucks at conferences.
Yeah.
You know, that you don't always have the computer open anyways.
I think that, yeah.
I think slide 9 is a little hard to, like, I'm not sure what the takeaway there was.
I mean, it's just saying that the market is huge.
Right. I think that part of what you're reacting to, Paul, is that it's just so different than all the other slides. It's like an Excel spreadsheet
Yeah,
plopped
yeah.
down. It doesn't look stylish and cool like everything else.
You know, I think there's probably a better way to do this, and maybe it's not, maybe just get rid of
All the numbers and all the.
yeah, get rid of that chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was slide 6, 7, and 8?
Sucks.
And these were quotes or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like trying to explain the problem. Like,
Yeah.
What if 6, 7, and 8 get slid up? So if you, what's
6, 7, and 8, the same one.
well, what if you actually like slide them further up, right? Because like we have to figure out a way to separate your previous experience
Yeah.
from, see, because like when you were talking about your experience planning stuff, and then you jumped right into the brands, and then we were kind of like, okay, were those consulting clients or were those Walku clients?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I was looking at it, and you saw before the slide, like that slide, those quotes. Hey, events are so awesome, and then it's like, okay, then he jumps into here are the problems with events. So it's almost so. I'm not sure how much further up he can move, right? Because all the things before that, I assume, were about the event planning business, not about Welcome.
Well, I think like, so now you've got slide 6 is you. I think slide 6 needs to go right under slide 2. So I think it's like,
I think that's where it was originally.
that's where it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you move that back up to the slide, yeah, move that, right underneath. Because I think you can tell the story about you, and then talk, and then say like, this is what you learned, right? That it sucks, and then number 1, number 2, this is why it sucks.
Yeah.
What's number 7, slide 7? And okay, so now you're qualifying it. I think 7 and 8 can, like, 11 and 12 now should go after 6. So, because you, or maybe it's 10, 11, 12, because like now you've talked about your background, you've talked about why it sucks, and then you're going to talk about what you've done to fix it. Maybe something like that?
Yeah, and again, you probably want to do that in a more one-on-one session to figure out reordering of slides.
Yeah.
One other thing I would say is that you have customers, you're doing events right now. Show statistics, usage, something that tells you this is why this is so awesome. Not that it's just a good idea, but that, at this event there were 1,000 attendees and there were 1,500 communications that went back and forth that otherwise wouldn't have happened.
You showed revenue on the last one, didn't you, for Welcome?
10,000.
Yeah, I just mentioned that.
That was pretty, I mean, it was, because it was a big number, wasn't it? It was like 40K or something, it was big.
Wasn't that 10,000?
10,000, no, never mind. But still, this is relatively new.
Yeah, the thing is,
What do you think? Do you like revenue?
I like revenue. I like to hear, because when somebody,
Like revenue.
there's lots of things in this world that people will never pay money for. The fact you get someone to pay for it, even if it's just $10,000, shows you that at least there's something somebody's willing to pay money for. I think if you are making revenues, you should always mention it.
I think you're close. I think it's just the order is a little jumbled up. It's that middle section that's kind of tricky. But I think in your mind, you just need to go from telling about your background to why the problem sucks to what you've done about it and how awesome you are. Like, you've got revenue, you've got these big brands. And your presentation's still, it's pretty short, so you got some room, right? It was 2.5 minutes, so you've got some room to play with. Anybody else?
When you map the problem, the way to do solution for the two problem one's like no interaction and another too many tools. Right away you say we solve this, right? You are going just, I think it creates like there's a complete different industry and paying customers. So where is your sweet spot there after you map the problem?
Because I mean, from what I can see of the product, I haven't used it, but from what I see of the product, it solves the first problem, which is helping people interact with each other, but I didn't see how it solved the second problem, because you're still using all those other things plus this.
yeah.
Anybody else? Feedback?
You had a flow. So just going back on the revenue is really important. You had a flow on the last one. I don't remember really well, but you had a customer kind of down the line, like she was doing it and her experience. And I thought that worked relatively well. Was there a reason you took out?
Yeah, because we are changing a little bit what we are doing right now, because most of our customers use the product to send like invitation for private events, and then if they want, they can allow their guests to connect during the event. I mean, but the registration process, we did some ticket sales in the beginning, but we said, okay, let's take off all the ticket sales things. So we are changing the thing. We're going to focus on the connections.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
So
Oh, yeah,
that's-
that's right.
That helps
was,
explain why there was that initial confusion.
Yeah.
Because it used to be more of a ticket.
and I'm struggling because of that. I mean, my mind right now is,
Yeah. You're talking about that new thing, right? The email you sent out with the LinkedIn connection?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Got
I mean, we love that because we started the company because of that.
Right.
And most of our first customers, like Coca-Cola and Trawell and Movistar and other like brands, they start because of that. And then we start getting customers because of the ticket sales or the registration thing.
And you can make money off of that.
I know,
And
I know.
that's why people always end up gravitating towards it, because that's where the point of the money is.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I really believe that the connection thing is awesome
Yeah.
because it's very, very easy.
Well, I'll tell you, like, when I actually saw that email, so he sent out an email
Yeah.
to, which group was it? You sent an email out recently, like.
Yeah, I was just sending an email to you and Melissa, so
That's when it actually, like, got crisp in my head, because he's basically giving me an easy way to connect with everybody at the event before.
And I wouldn't be afraid I wouldn't shy away from the fact that it's mobile. I mean, I think that mobile is what distinguishes it from a whole crop of failed event social networking products from the past.
we are not. That's it. We are like trying to take the friction of setting up everything
Yeah.
out of the process.
Exactly, because all those people in the past, I mean, I've been to like so many conferences, they all try to have one of those, nobody ever uses them, they all suck.
Yeah.
And they're all web-based, and by the time you get there, you can't communicate with anyone anyway. So the mobile side is really important.
Yeah.
Cool. Good job. Are you signed up for tomorrow, or?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got one more night to think about it.
Yeah. I mean, we are like
Okay.